From the Presidential Palace, Manila, Dateline Malacañang.
Good day. This is Dateline Malacañang in review. Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. on Monday led the groundbreaking and time capsule laying for the construction of the new Caticlan Passenger Terminal Building or PTB at the Caticlan Airport in Aklan, hailing it as a major step in improving regional connectivity, tourism, and economic growth. In his speech during the ceremony held at Caticlan Airport, the president said, "The government is slowly putting together the building blocks of policies to open up areas, tourist areas, business areas, to international travelers without having to go through the Manila Airport." Located in the municipality of Malay in northern Aklan, Caticlan Airport serves as the most direct and practical access point to Boracay Island. Just a short ferry ride away from the world-renowned beach destination, the airport is poised to accommodate the influx of tourists more efficiently with the upcoming terminal expansion. The two-story terminal will span 36,470 square meters and feature 6 passenger boarding bridges and 36 check-in counters. Once operational, it will have the capacity to process up to 3,000 passengers simultaneously with a projected annual throughput of 7 million passengers. Completion is targeted for 2027. The design and build contract for the terminal was awarded in 2024 to Megawide Construction Corporation. The facility is owned and operated by Transair Development Holdings Corporation or TADHC, a subsidiary of San Miguel Corporation Infrastructure. President Marcos emphasized the importance of bypassing congestion in Manila through regional airport development, noting upgrades are also underway in Iloilo, Bohol, and Siargao. The chief executive recalled his personal experience visiting Boracay and described the ferry transfer as a memorable part of the trip and a valuable part of the experience. Tourism currently contributes close to 8% of the Philippines' gross domestic product, according to the president. President Marcos Jr. said infrastructure projects like the Caticlan Terminal are crucial to increasing that figure by making travel easier and more enjoyable for visitors.
We are slowly putting together the building blocks of our policy of opening up our areas, tourist areas, our business areas, to international travelers without having to go through the Manila Airport. And this is simply because, although Manila Airport is improving once again because of the concession agreement that we made with San Miguel, it is improving and we are going to increase the capacity in terms of passengers per hour, movements per hour, in terms of passengers and travelers per year. However, it would be much easier for our tourists or for any travelers na doon na sila tumungo, kagaya dito, diretso na sila dito sa Caticlan. And from here, they can go to Boracay, they can go around and see all of the tourist destinations. Marami ritong tourist destination. We can see all of the tourist destinations around the province and in the neighboring areas. And so it is not something that is just belonging to one province. It is not just Aklan who is involved in this. It is the entire region that will be assisted by the construction of this terminal building. The influx of people, of travelers, is going to be a big boost to the local economy and, I might add, the national economy. Tourism right now contributes close to 8% to our GDP. And that is something that we want to increase. And that is why these projects that we have are also very important. We are doing the same things for many regional airports. We have been talking about Iloilo. We have made agreements with in Bohol, in Siargao, and there will be others more. Ngayon pinag-uusapan pa lang, so I don't want to let the cat out of the bag because they are still in discussions. But the idea is to open up the Philippines not necessarily only through Manila, but on international flights coming from Europe, coming from Southeast Asia, coming directly to the tourist destinations.
That was Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Dateline Malacañang.
Also on Monday, Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. swore in Dave Gomez as Acting Secretary of the Presidential Communications Office, or PCO, and Sharon Garin as Secretary of the Department of Energy, or DOE, expressing confidence that both officials will reinforce key government thrusts under his administration's governance framework. In separate social media posts, the President emphasized the importance of effective communication and energy policy reforms as central to his administration's goals. Gomez served as Communications Director of PMFTC Incorporated, Philippine Morris International, or PMI's Philippine affiliate, for over 2 decades. He began his career as a reporter for the Philippine Star. He also served as Director General of the Philippine Information Agency. Gomez is the 5th chief communicator under the Marcos administration after J. Ruiz, Cesar Chavez, Cheloy Garafil, and Trixie Cruz Angeles. Meanwhile, President Marcos lauded Garin's legislative and policy background, saying her appointment would bolster the administration's energy agenda. Garin served multiple terms in Congress. She is expected to lead the implementation of energy sector reforms, including programs to boost renewable energy adoption, reduce power costs, and expand rural electrification. On Monday, President Marcos, in a speech during the groundbreaking and time capsule laying for the construction of the new Caticlan Passenger Terminal building at the Caticlan Airport in Aklan Province, bared that he will fly by the Malampaya gas field with Garin, a significant natural gas field and power project located offshore northwest of Palawan Province. Malampaya is a major source of natural gas for Luzon, powering up to 20% of the island's electricity needs.
Dateline Malacañang.
Malacañang on Tuesday said Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. approved the proposed 6.793 trillion peso budget for 2026. The budget proposal will focus on both economic development and improving the standard of life for Filipinos. In a press briefing, Presidential Communications Office, or PCO Undersecretary and Palace Press Officer Claire Castro reported that President Marcos approved the budget to improve education quality and improve the lives of Filipinos during a cabinet meeting in Malacañang earlier that day. Castro said the president emphasized the necessity of aligning the 2026 budget with his administration's vision of a more progressive and inclusive Philippines that ensures the well-being of all citizens and the next generation.
Sa layuning mapataas ang kalidad ng edukasyon sa Pilipinas at pag-aani ng pamumuhay ng mga Pilipino, inaprubahan ni President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. ang 6.793 trillion pesos proposed budget para sa susunod na taon. Sa ginanap na cabinet meeting sa Malacañang kaninang umaga, binigyan diin ni Pangulong Marcos Jr. na sisiguruhin na ang 2026 budget ay hindi lamang pang economic growth, kundi maiangat ang buhay ng bawat Pilipino at ang susunod na mga henerasyon. Sa ilalim ng Marcos administration, mahalaga ang kapakanan ng bawat isa at ang kinabukasan ng taong bayan tungo sa mas progresibo at maunlad na bagong Pilipinas.
National Expenditure Program, or NEP, is the national government's budget for the upcoming fiscal year. It serves as the foundation for Congress in developing the General Appropriations Bill, or GAB, which becomes the General Appropriations Act, or GA, if signed into law by the President. The Constitution requires that the NEP be delivered to Congress within 30 days following the President's State of the Union Address, or SONA. On July 28, President Marcos will deliver his fourth State of the Nation Address, or SONA, before a joint session of Congress. The projected budget, the country's largest to date, is anticipated to fund critical programs in education, infrastructure, digitalization, healthcare, and social services.
Dateline Malacañang.
Meanwhile, Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. on Wednesday announced the long-awaited deployment of the Dalian trains for commercial use at the Metro Rail Transit, or MRT Line 3, nearly a decade after the government purchased the train sets. The Philippines acquired 48 light rail vehicles in 2014 from CCRC Dalian Company, but technical compatibility issues prevented their operation on the MRT-3 system. After years of storage, only 3 of the train sets, comprising 9 coaches, are now ready for use. Modifications to the trains were made at no cost to the Philippine government. German firm TÜV Rheinland oversaw a full technical audit, while MRT-3's current maintenance provider, Japan's Sumitomo Corporation, conducted final safety checks. Once all 48 Dalian cars are deployed, the MRT-3's capacity is expected to increase significantly, with reduced intervals between trains from 4 minutes to as low as 2.5 minutes. The MRT-3 currently serves around 380,000 passengers daily.
Kung maaalala ninyo, noong 2014, nakabili po tayo ng mga tren galing sa China. Nakabili tayo ng 48 na karwahe para sa tren. Mula ng 2014, nakatenga lang ito, hindi po nagamit. Kaya ang ginawa natin ay binalikan natin itong mga ito at tiniyak natin na kung ano ba ang kailangan gawin para magamit ang Dalian train na ito ay gawin na natin. So makakapagbuo na tayo ngayon pa lang 3 trains na 3 karwahe. So 9 nitong cars na ito. Doon sa 48, tuloy-tuloy natin na titignan at gagawan ng paraan para naman magamit. Dahil 10 taon nakaparada ito hindi nagamit. Kaya maging maginhawa ang pagbiyahe ng ating mga kababayan, lalo na mga senior citizen, lalo na PWD at saka yung mga estudyante natin.
That was Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Dateline Malacañang.
Also on Wednesday, Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. expressed optimism that the subway stations of the Metro Manila Subway Project, or MMSP, will be partially operational by 2028. After inspecting the Camp Aguinaldo subway station in Quezon City, President Marcos said he is happy to see the progress of the ongoing construction work of the MMSP. President Marcos said travel time from Valenzuela City to the Ninoy Aquino International Airport, or NAIA, in Pasay City would be reduced to 40 minutes from the usual trip of 2.5 hours once the MMSP is operational. The chief executive also lauded Japan, the country's partner for the construction of the subway, for doing a very good job. The MMSP, the country's first underground railway system, is a 3-kilometer and 17-station rail line that will connect Valenzuela City in the north to Pasay City in the south, with a spur line at the NAIA Terminal 3.
Ito yung ating subway project na papaabutin natin hanggang itong phase na ito, hanggang Valenzuela. Ngayon, pagka nabuo na ito, ang travel time mula sa Valenzuela hanggang sa airport ay sa kasalukuyan, mga 2 oras yan 2 oras kalahati. Kaya mababawasan yan hanggang mga 40 minutes na lang. Kaya napakalaking bagay pag nabuo natin ito. Nakikita ko naman na doon sa tinignan namin yung machine, yung na talagang humuhukay. At maayos naman ang patakbo, lalong-lalo na ng ating mga Japanese engineer. Andito si Ambassador ng Japan at siyang namamahala para tiyakin na magandang trabaho. At masasabi ko naman, napakagandang trabaho ng kanilang ginagawa. Sana matapos natin ito by hanggang sa Valenzuela, baka matapos natin ito 28. Baka pwede nang in-inaugurate 2028. Basta tingnan natin. Lahat naman ay nag-agree na kailangan na bilisan ng mabuti at ng gusto dahil ang mga ating mga commuter para naman mas maginhawa ang kanilang pag-commute. So, patuloy natin ginagawa, napaka-impressive. Impressive talaga ito. Kung titignan ninyo, isipin nyo kung gaano kabigat yung engineering na dinadala nila dito. But the Japanese do that the best. I think in the whole world, it is recognized that the Japanese are one of the top when it comes to heavy engineering and construction projects such as this.
That was Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. on Thursday received Her Excellency Lori Nicole Stephanie Bofils, outgoing Ambassador of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland to the Philippines, during a farewell call at the study room in Malacañang Palace. During their talk, the President conveyed his profound appreciation to the UK Ambassador for her dedicated service and steadfast commitment to strengthening bilateral relations between the two countries. In response, Ambassador Bofils expressed her heartfelt gratitude for the warm hospitality extended to her throughout her posting, noting that her 4-year tenure in the Philippines has been guided by a constructive and forward-looking agenda. She further highlighted the creativity, generosity, and collaborative spirit of the Filipino people, which she considers integral to the success of the partnerships forged during her diplomatic mission. Last month, the UK ambassador bid an emotional farewell during her final King's birthday party, expressing deep gratitude for 4 years of service and affection for a country that, she says, changed her life. Bofils, who will be succeeded by Sarah Ann Halton by September 2025, thanked government partners, business sponsors, her embassy team, and her family.
Dateline Malacañang.
Also on Thursday, Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. led the mid-year command conference of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, or AFP, to review the progress of the military's operations and programs. During the command conference held at Camp General Emilio Aguinaldo in Quezon City, the Commander-in-Chief was briefed by AFP officials on the efforts to address internal and external security challenges. President Marcos praised the AFP for its role in the orderly conduct of the May 12, 2025 midterm elections. The AFP presented the song Kanluran to the President as a heartfelt anthem of Filipino patriotism. The AFP said it plans to play the song in cinemas, schools, seminars, and other social gatherings. The command conference was attended by AFP Chief of Staff General Romeo Bronner Jr. and top military officials and commanders. Also present were Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin, Department of National Defense Secretary Gilberto Chudoro, Special Assistant to the President Antonio Lagdameo Jr., Senior Undersecretary Isidro Purisima of the Office of the Presidential Advisor on Peace, Reconciliation and Unity or UPAPRU, and National Task Force LCAC Executive Director and Undersecretary Ernesto Torres Jr.
Dateline Malacañang.
And finally, Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. on Friday inaugurated the Bagong Pilipinas eGov.ph Serbisyo Hub or BPESH, a one-stop shop that will facilitate the delivery of faster, simpler, and more convenient public services to Filipinos. During the launch of the BPESH at the Makabagong San Juan National Government Center or MSJ-NGC in San Juan City, the President said it takes more than a day to get a normal clearance from government offices due to long queues. The government, President Marcos said, is making strides in simplifying, expediting, and enhancing public access to government services. With the launch of the BPESH, President Marcos said his administration has taken a step further and finally moved into the 21st century. The chief executive also encouraged the public to use and explore the eGov.ph Super App, a mobile application that serves as a one-stop online shop that integrates frontline government services into a single platform, enabling citizens to make transactions without the need to go to offices.
We have always aspired to actually being able to do a one-stop shop na isang punta lang ay nandyan na lahat. And this is now what we are inaugurating here in San Juan. But as I said, it's not only here in Luzon, Metro Manila. We will also do the same thing for all the local governments around the country. And I think that that is a very, very important development because we are trying to make things easier for our kababayan so that they can go about their business na hindi naman sila nahihirapan at kung ano-ano pangangailangan na nauubos ang oras nila. Sometimes it takes more than to get a normal clearance takes more than 1 day because pila ka ng pila, orada na pila ka. And then it turns out pagdating sa 5 o'clock kulang pa to. So, tomorrow or next day, kung maghahanap ka na naman ng oras para pumunta. That is what we are trying to fix with this one-stop shop. And I think with the system that we have put together, I am very, 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 very optimistic that this will make things much easier.
Was Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Dateline Malacañang.
Before we conclude our program, Radyo Pilipinas World Service of the Presidential Broadcast Service is live on audio streaming. Just download eVox PBS receiver on your Google Play Store or the App Store from your Apple phone. You can also visit our Facebook page and YouTube channel. Just type in and search for Radyo Pilipinas World Service. Kindly subscribe, like, and share our posts as well. And that concludes this edition of Dateline Malacañang in Review. For Radyo Pilipinas World Service, this is Leo Magpayo. Good day and stay safe.
From the Presidential Palace, Manila, Dateline Malacañang.